that here we're hearing from Cheney again, and he is so much responsible, not the only one, but so much responsible for so much that went wrong.
All of these mistakes.
And he, you know, and he was in charge of the committee that was supposed to be taking care of terrorism before 9/11, and he has no shame. And we keep, you know, giving him airtime to talk about how it's Obama and this administration that is that is leaving us unsafe.
The fact is, Cheney and Bush et al., they left a tremendous can of worms for Obama that are, it's impossible to untangle the whole thing. The economy, they failed on the economy, they failed on Iraq, they failed on Afghanistan, and who knows what else. And it's very hard for Obama to pull it out after all those failures of Bush.
How could we have expected him to be able to restore the United States as we would have it after it has been so undermined for so long?
I think he has done a lot to save us from a real economic crisis, though.
I feel like Obama, though, there's been so many disappointments. I mean, a major thing was his appointments to his cabinet and his choice of vice president. Joe Biden, I hate to tell everybody, is the #1 Democrat responsible for the Iraq War. He's #1. If there's any Democrat more responsible, it's him. He was in charge of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and prevented people from coming in to testify against they had knowledge that Iraq didn't have weapons of mass destruction, and he would not let them testify in his committee.
That's what he did with Anita Hill.
So yeah, and
Did he?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and then many of his other appointments, his economic appointments, are extremely disappointing. And we were going to discuss it. Bernanke is the newest economic choice that I would say is really bad. He was a Bush appointee for the Federal Reserve, and Obama has just renominated him. And what we know is that Bernanke gave out $2 trillion to Wall Street banks in secret. And when he was asked in front of a congressional committee who he gave that $2 trillion to, he pretty much told the American people that they don't need to know, that it's not for you to find out. But fortunately, Bloomberg News just won a lawsuit, a FOIA lawsuit, Freedom of Information Act lawsuit for disclosure. So we may soon know. But it shows, though, and William Greeter of The Nation just wrote that Bernanke was a horrible choice because he does not serve the public, he serves Wall Street.
You know, and, all of the Obamaniacs, is that how, all of the excitement over Obama and all of the website and all of that, I think that it worked better on personality, things like Obama Girl, and rather than following up these tremendously important issues. We are deep in it now. And yeah, it is, the mess that was left was more than anyone should have to deal with. And I do sometimes feel that Obama is trying to keep angry people from erupting in a whole lot of areas. And we don't know how much worse it would be if he were not making these deals with the, you know, the military-industrial complex, the insurance companies, the banks, and so forth. But it is I
see Obama as having still some major potential and potentially being an FDR-type figure. But I really see him as this professional politician that's being pushed from all these different directions. And right now he's being pushed hardest by corporate interests, and he's listening to them and doing what they want. And that's probably why he appointed a lot of the people. He knew that was politically calculating. He could get more money for his next re-election campaign from these interests. But I think there's still the potential for the public to really take to the streets and push for public interest initiative. And whether it's on energy or healthcare or the war, etc., I think people, and that's what happened when FDR was president. He said, you want me to do something, get out there and make me do it. And I think that's what's really happening, is the people really have to make Obama do stuff. Otherwise, he's just going to keep doing what corporations want him to do. And because they're going to give him more money for his 2012 re-election.
I think he wants a real health care program.
I think he does want to do good,
wants a real global warming program.
He really wants to please everybody, though, and I think you can't do that.
I want to say that he had one very good moment with his Cairo speech. We don't know the kind of good that that sort of moment sows for the future. Versus what we had been getting.
No,
so
that was a breath of fresh air.
He is doing good things.
But with this qualification, that it had an immediate good effect all over the world. That is true.
Yeah.
But it will be measured with what he does.
Right.
And if he does not carry out some of those claims, some of those promises, just to see if he doesn't carry out his campaign promises, then he will be damaged. And that is the trouble, that is the danger of making big promises.
What promises did he make in the Cairo speech? I'm not aware of any.
Specifically about a truce, a two-nation between the Palestinians and the Israel.
Making progress there.
Making progress there. And he still talks about opposing the settlements, but he has not done one thing concrete about removing those settlements. And there can't be any kind of two-state agreement, can there be?
Absolutely.
Until the settlements are gone?
I want to agree 100% with that. I cannot understand why we continue to support Israel when they continue to expand the settlements and to not start moving out of the settlements.
Yeah.
That's absolutely critical. We need to say that we're not going to support you guys.
Right.
We're paying their military bill right now.
I think what's so interesting is these settlements, I think, are against everybody's interests. So I think it's ridiculous to call supporting that pro-Israel.
Yeah.
I think the proper position for peace is pro-Israel, pro-Palestine, and pro-America, and it's halting and removing illegal settlements.
Get out of all the settlements,
illegal.
and the Palestinians need to own half of
Where will those people
Jerusalem
go?
in the end.
Just for argument, where will those people go? Let's say we did that tomorrow. Yeah,
they would need to go back to Israel.
But
ideally,
to Israel.
I think the ideal
plenty
that
of
nobody's ever talked about, I think the ideal scenario, and this is probably politically impossible at this point, but I believe in a one-state solution with a strong constitution that protects minority rights. And I think as long as we have people living side by side, us against them, Arabs against Jews, and dark-skinned people against light-skinned people, it's always going to be us and them back and forth and violence.
You're never going to get that.
Abel,
Israel wants to
I know,
remain a
it's
Jewish
probably
state.
impossible. That's just
I
a
think
dream.
you're
That's
being
a dream.
bit of an idealist there.
Abel, we
Abel.
have just enough time, and all of you, we have just enough time for me to say, it's a great pleasure having you here and to hand over that baton to you. It's been very interesting getting your views on healthcare and the Middle East, this show, and we look forward to more in the future. And to our audience, keep coming back to OMNI. It has been Month in Review. It's going to be OMNI Vision. Stay tuned. There will be more.